Now, what are some things you look for in a man?
Honest, trustworthy, someone who has like their life planned out already, like a career.
Okay.
I would say obviously God fearing, fun. Yeah.
Now take notice that she said that she needed somebody that's God-fearing. Let's keep note of that and let's continue.
And I hear the question again. It was a lot of detail, and I want to make sure I heard it correctly.
So basically what I said was like, how do you feel about supporting women that has like their own things going on? Or do you feel like a woman should play the back and like the man should be just like the...
I believe we support each other, but me being the head, I believe if we're not aligned correctly and depending on what it is that you're into, if I don't support that, then I don't think I wouldn't be a part of it. But it depends on what it is that you have going on. But it's just your own thing, and I'm not against it, like morally and value. Then I would support you.
Yeah, so I do music. So my plan is to be a really huge artist. You know what I mean? Like that's the goal. That's the only goal. So what does that look like for you if I become like this big artist?
It doesn't faze me at all, but also what is the message that you put out into the world? Because our children are going to be looking up to you as their mother, and whatever you put into them is going to affect me as well.
Okay.
So yeah.
That's a good answer.
Now take notice of his answers. He says specifically, what is it that you're going to be putting out and what you're going to be putting into the world, because our kids are going to be looking at you as a mother. So let's see what her response is at the end.
So why did you have your balloon unpopped for her?
I was still listening to see what she had to say. I like to hear people out for real.
And now, why did we end up popping his?
I think like when he said like, you know, your children is going to look up to you and all that. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I am in music and sometimes it can get a little tricky. So I need to be in a situation where I feel supported. Because sometimes you got to say certain things, do certain things. You know what I mean? It's not going to be like over the top, but it's like it got to be understood. And he got on a Christ is the answer shirt, which is nothing wrong with that. But, you know.
What's wrong with Christ?
No, absolutely nothing. Nothing at all. But I just feel like that kind of shows probably what your personality is like. And music sometimes could be very provocative, very like vulgar sometimes. And that's just the honest truth.
Yeah, no, I understand. If we're not unequally yoked, then that's cool.
Yeah.
There was a lot that went in right now. So initially she's saying that she's in the music industry, or she's trying to be in the music industry. One of his concerns is, I mean, if we're going to be doing this thing, if I'm going to support you in what you're doing, it needs to be within like our morals, our values, which is what everybody should be aiming for. If you're going to be with somebody, how are you going to be married to somebody and your morals and values don't line up? That's just a recipe for disaster. And I think that's what's happening with a lot of marriages. And I'm not here to bash her or anything like that, but I think a lot of people don't really take into consideration. If you're going to say that you're a Christian, and remember what she said, she wanted a God-fearing man. If this man is concerned about what you're doing and how it's going to affect our kids, your house is your first ministry. It's his duty to care about what his kids are seeing and how the kids are going to grow up. So if anything, he's showing God man-like characteristics, but you're not okay with it. And I think a lot of people are really misunderstanding what it means to really be a Christian. You have to exhibit everything that the Bible says that we must exhibit, and you can't waver. If you're really looking for a God-fearing person, then you got to look for that person that's exhibiting these type of things, that's caring about the house, that's caring about what you're doing, that's caring about the morals, and that's caring about Christ. This is God-fearing, not just going to church and then, oh yeah, you're going to be in the music industry. And you even said yourself that there's some things that you may say, you may do that may be a little, you know, may not be on the Christian-like side or maybe in the sinful side. But you're okay with that. And that's not okay as a Christian. You can't be just okay with dabbling into the side of the sinful natures of the world and stuff. You're going to be living a Christian lifestyle. No one can serve two masters. Either you will hate one and love the other, or you will be with one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money. This was Jesus on the Sermon on the Mount, giving us straight commands on how to live our lives. And he says, do not straddle. Do not fall into the pits of money. Do not follow money. In the Old Testament, part of the 10 Commandments, it says specifically, you shall not have any other gods before me. You should not make yourself an image in the form of anything in heaven above or on earth beneath or in the waters below. You shall not bow down to them or worship them. For I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God. How can you serve God when you're serving somebody else? How can you live a godlike lifestyle and truly worship God, when you're worshiping other things of this world, you put them before God. You intentionally put them. But when you may not think it's intentional because you're just trying to find a way, God is the way. Put your trust in God. That's where you find true peace. You find true joys when you put your trust in God. And if you're really looking for a man that's God fearing, they're not going to be okay with morals that stand by the world, morals where there's absolutely no way for you to get around. There's just that's just not it. But if that's the case, you can't be saying that you're searching for a God-fearing man. You need to be intentional with what it is that you're seeking, because you're asking more than what you actually really want. You don't want a God-fearing man. You want somebody that holds maybe some Christian values, but that requires you being accountable for everything that you're doing. People really got to see this and understand that we need to change our minds. We need to change our mindset, change ourselves individually, and follow Christ. And then at that point, when we have more discernment, it becomes easier to find that person, to find that mate. It's not going to be the easiest thing, but you'll get out of a lot of trouble and a lot of headache. I definitely understand that everybody's walk with Christ is very different. That's completely fine. But we need to put Christ on the forefront. We really need to try and be Christ-like, both individually and when you're looking for a partner, and not just talk about it, not just say it, but actually be about it. So that's the real thing to really understand with this situation. And what we can learn from this is that, am I really doing this Christian walk? And if I'm looking for a suitable person, do I really want somebody that is also doing the Christian walk and really wanting to be Christ-like, a God-fearing man or woman? Is that really somebody that I want? Is God going to give me somebody that I want? Who do I want? What am I attracted to? You got to figure these things out for yourself, but you got to use them through a lens of being a Christian, not being of this world. So y'all let me know. Am I being too harsh? Am I being too blunt? I don't know. Y'all comment in the section. I'm going to catch y'all later.